they jump behind cover. There's not a whole heck of a lot in your house that foster slugs won't go through. They'll go through sofas. They'll go all the way through a fridge, both sides, and take out a couple of gallons of milk inside the fridge. I mean, foster slugs are mean, mean, mean. Hi folks, Tim Sundles here. My beautiful wife, Kim, although she just rolled out of bed. Anyway, my beautiful wife, Kim, is filming on the iPhone.
Even more beautiful.
And babe, you can even pan over there and get the video that's coming up next. And we'll talk about that next. A lot of you will know what that is at first glance. Anyway, the Beretta 1301 is probably the first semi-auto Beretta that I've been 100% pleased, happy with because of its reliability and its function. I just got this rifle back from Joe Pierce over at Pierce Brothers, and they did a full test and review on it that I don't know if it's, this probably won't post on our YouTube for a couple more months. We're quite a ways ahead of ourselves on videos. But you can catch this very rifle being tested by Joe Pierce. Shotgun. Somebody's going to call me on that for sure. If there's no riflings in the barrel, it's not a rifle. And I misspeak myself a lot on these videos because I don't have notes or anything, and I just start talking, and I just fired well over 100 rounds of 12 gauge 3-inch mag, 2 3/4 inch mag, and 308. So I'm a little brain dead. Even with hearing protection, my ears are ringing. Anyway, this is, if you want a tactical shotgun, this is the finest I've used. I've used several, and for years I just used upgraded Model 870s. Yeah, and while you're close, let's look at the sights. This is a 6+1, I believe, maybe 7+1. Of course, has the little tactical rail if you want to put red dots or whatever. But look at these nice click adjustable sights. They're actually doing sights the way sights ought to be done. Very nice sights, very, very click adjustable, high visibility. That's a big, fat, wide aperture on the back, which all defensive guns, in my opinion, once you learn to use a big open aperture, not a tight little aperture, but a big open one that can't get shadows in it. The little tight target apertures can get real shadowy in poor light. These big open ones are just God's gift to a tactical gun. I mean, and the same things on that M14. That's a national match, but whomever along the way owned it, they put a big fat aperture on it. Big wide thing, which I love. Anyway, I shot this thing with all kinds of 3-inch buckshot, and I'll show you how I'm going to carry this. Actually, I'm not going to carry it. It's going to be a bedroom gun. It's going to replace the 870 I've had in my bedroom forever. The first shot, the shot in the chamber, and yes, it will remain in my bedroom with a round chambered. Duh. It's a tactical gun. You don't have a round unchambered in a tactical gun. So can you zero in on that? That is, and I've had that ammo for 35 or 40 years. That has 41 pellets of number 4 buckshot in a 3-inch mag. That'll be in the chamber. This will be the next shot coming up in the magazine. And that's double-aught buck 3-inch mag with 15 pellets. And then the rest of the magazine tube is full of these. That's a 550 grain, just a Federal. It's a 2 3/4 inch Magnum slug. And if you want to see what the nose of that looks like, that's the nose. It's just a Foster style slug. I didn't chronograph them. I get tired of shotgun wads hitting my chronograph and breaking it. So I just don't chronograph slugs like I used to. Let me explain why I will load it that way. The first shot being number 4, first of all, there's as good a chance or probably a better chance I'll have to use this on a bear on my porch as there is using it on people. And so my bedroom guns are all bear guns. They're just because you get bears on the porch running around here and stuff, and I don't tolerate that crap. And I don't care if Fish and Game likes it or not. Bears don't belong on my porch. You know, it's dangerous. No, nah. And if bears get on my porch, they'll either learn the hard way not to, or they'll find themselves in a position that they never learn another thing ever again. So if you live in an urban area and you want a home shotgun, you don't need 3-inch Magnum. You don't need 2 3/4-inch Magnum. All you need is good standard 12 gauge buckshot or even bird shot for the first shot, like number 2 BBs or something like that. But here, there's a likelihood I'll have to use it on a bear. So the first shot will be the number 4 buck, which isn't good for bear, but with 41 pellets, he'll feel it. The second shot will be double aught buck, 15 pellets. He'll feel that, especially if he's 10 feet away. And everything else is slugs. And I do slugs tactically for human defense as well as bear defense, because with humans, after the first couple shots, if you haven't neutralized them, and in real English that means killed them, if you haven't done that, they get behind cover. And these Foster slugs, whether they're 1 ounce or these are 1 1/4 ounces, which is 550 grains, 1 ounce is 440 grains. They jump behind cover. There's not a whole heck of a lot in your house that Foster slugs won't go through. They'll go through sofas. They'll go all the way through a fridge, both sides, and take out a couple of gallons of milk inside the fridge. I mean, Foster slugs are mean. And, a 12 gauge is, I think that's 72 caliber. So you're slinging a big pistol bullet. Well, so this morning what I did was, Joe had reported that no matter what kind of loads he shot, super light loads, heavy loads, 3-inch mags, the gun functioned flawlessly. He had no hangups, no failures to cycle. And then Joe politely took the whole thing apart, cleaned it, and lubed it for me. You over-lubed it, Joe. So that I would get a broken-in gun that's all cleaned and lubed. I fired some 3-inch buckshot and some 2 3/4-inch buckshot magnums. They were flawless. And of course, these things I believe are cylinder bore. And so there's no choking whatsoever. And when you shoot buckshot with no choking, I mean, honestly, it's about you could shoot stuff out to 40 yards with it, but really 25, 30 yards. The slugs, I had to do just a couple of sight adjustments to get the slugs where I wanted them. And my experience with these tactical guns is, with shotguns in general, wherever the slugs hit is pretty much going to be wherever the center of the shot group is for buckshot or bird shot. Now, there's exceptions to that. These slugs are rifled, so they can spin a little bit left or right, or, whatever, shoot a little bit high or low. The slugs at 45 yards were off. I want to say they were 3 inches, 4 inches high, and slightly to the right. So I clicked the sights 1 click left, and 3, maybe it was probably 4 clicks down, and that put the slugs right at 6 o'clock. And we're gonna do another video on 6 o'clock holds. I grew up shooting deer right around my house anyway, with shotguns, because they had what they called an agricultural season in Northwest Oregon. And you had to use a shotgun or a muzzle loader. Muzzle loaders weren't a big deal that many years ago. We're going back 50 years. Or archery. So I grew up shooting stuff with buckshot and shotgun slugs. I can tell you right now, buckshot's useless on deer. Don't waste your time. But slugs are very useful. Anyway, I learned early on, use a 6 o'clock hold. And we'll do a video on it so that you can see the target you're hitting. If you don't use a 6 o'clock hold and you have to cover the deer's head or whatever your target is with your front sight, or in my case as a kid, it was just a single bead. If you have to cover your target with the bead, you can't really see what you're gonna hit that well, especially when you get past 50, 60, 70 yards. These slugs in this gun were not hyper accurate. They're accurate enough for 60, 70 yard work. I wouldn't shoot them past that. Now, if I want to do a lot of testing and carry this thing exclusively as a slug gun, I would look for slugs that I could make 100-yard hits with, and by hits, I mean a deer's head. But you'll never do that without using a 6 o'clock hold. You cannot cover the deer's head with the sight and have any idea where your bullet's gonna hit. You've got to use a 6 o'clock hold with a front bead or with sights, as this shotgun has. This is a cool shotgun. I'd do a little more accuracy work with different types of slugs. I'd take it deer hunting in what Idaho calls a short range hunt, where you got to use a shotgun or a muzzle loader or archery. Most states have those. Anyway, folks, I definitely give this a thumbs up. This is a go. If you want to spend that kind of money on a tactical shotgun, this one is ready out of the box. I will also say that it does come with spacers from the factory in the box so you can change your length of pull. I'm just going to leave this how it is. It's kind of short for me, but if Kim ever needed to use it, it would work for her. Her arms are shorter than mine. Thumbs up. Very, very, very good shotgun. Get the full review on Pierce Brothers. And by the time this airs on Buffalo Boar, the Pierce Brothers will have aired theirs probably for a couple months. But you'll get the full tactical review. Joe Pierce knows his crap and is a straight shooter on that stuff. So, folks, hope this is instructional. We'll see you on the next video. God bless. Hi, folks. We just did a video showing you this Beretta 1301, and now we're just going to put a couple of rounds downrange just so you can see it shoot. The first two shots are 3-inch Magnum buckshot. The first shot will be number 4 buckshot, and the second shot will be double-aught buckshot. There's 15 pellets of double-aught in a 3-inch Magnum 12 gauge, and there's 41 pellets of number 4 buckshot in a 3-inch Magnum 12 gauge. The number 4 buckshot is 22 caliber. The double-aught buck is 33 caliber, and then the last two shots will be slugs. And these are 2 3/4-inch Magnum slugs. They're 550 grain Federal Foster slugs.